Hey everybody, this is Chris from honestypill.com. You're listening to episode 1 of the Honesty Pill podcast. This season on the show, I'll be talking to innovative musician entrepreneurs who have created new ways of performing, new ways of teaching, and new ways of serving their audiences. These are people bringing music into the 21st century. My hope in creating this podcast is to make it easier for you to reinvent yourself and expand your own horizons. Take the information, mull it over, and come up with your own way to bring your art to the world. So why do I want to do this? I'm concerned that our art form will not survive if we keep clinging to the old ways of doing things. It's time to evolve. It's time to face the music. Here's the good news. Musicians are an amazingly disciplined, creative, and industrious group. People who have what it takes to put in 10,000 hours in a practice room also have what it takes to be successful in so many other areas of life. For this episode, I'm going to tell you where the name Honesty Pill comes from and about the honesty pill I swallowed that led to the creation of my online business, as well as the podcast you're listening to right now. Here's the deal. I've noticed that creative people always have some issue, some problem, some Achilles heel that holds them back. They're either afraid to fix it or they have no idea how to fix it. Either way, they brush the problem under the rug and spend years, thousands and thousands of dollars, and go through so much denial working on everything but the big issue. I know all of this because I spent years ignoring my own issues. It wasn't easy, but I finally figured out how to solve them. I call the process of taking a close look at your issues and then doing something about it, swallowing the honesty pill. I'm here to say, if you're willing to do the hard work, to get uncomfortable, and take a close look at yourself, you can accomplish anything. As someone who wanted a job in a professional orchestra, I took 1 million auditions, spent a lot of money on hotels and travel, studied with the best teachers. And luckily for me, it paid off and ended up getting my dream job here in the Los Angeles Philharmonic. But I found myself thinking, what's next? What's the next logical step for me? Like many of my colleagues, I assumed I would supplement my income by getting a job teaching at a college or a conservatory. The thing was, I'd already had several of those and they just weren't very satisfying for me. I never had any control over who I taught. The students were too busy, often not committed to the lessons. Meanwhile, the students I really wanted to work with often had to travel huge distances to see me, and the airfare and hotel costs for these people was ridiculous. I'd feel guilty about charging them, and then I'd feel compelled to over-deliver, teach way longer than an hour, and try to cram everything I know about the trumpet into one lesson. Not sustainable, not good for them, and certainly not good for my own schedule or boundaries. How was I going to find a way to share my best information with the people who really needed it? How could I explain everything they needed from me in the space of a traditional in-person lesson? How could my students afford a fee that compensated me fairly for my years of experience and mastery? These problems seemed insurmountable. I assumed I had to do it the same way everyone had always done it. And while I'm certainly qualified to teach the trumpet, what I really love to work on is audition strategy, long-term improvement, business development, and all things mindset. For me, normal teaching just was not cutting it. Finding students who are motivated, dealing with all their schedules, dealing with LA traffic, or even finding students who are looking for more than just trumpet lessons just wasn't working for me. I didn't even have a good physical space to teach. It doesn't make sense to rent studio space for just a few lessons a week. The ratio of dollars to effort wasn't working, either for me or for the people paying me. But here's the thing. We weren't the problem. The old-fashioned model of private teaching was. But this is how we were all brought up. We paid our lesson teachers for an hour of their time. And I know this is how most of us teach. My honesty pill moment was realizing that I was afraid of taking a stand and saying that the traditional way of teaching wasn't so great. I was afraid to take the leap and do something bigger. I was afraid to break the status quo. I knew there had to be a way to help more people stop running around and even take control of my own income. After a lot of thought, work, and preparation, I created my first online course. I started coaching all types of musicians, not just trumpet players, and ended up stepping into a much bigger game and helping so many more people than I ever would have before. It wasn't easy, but I did it. And if I did it, you can absolutely take that leap too. If you are currently out there trading dollars for hours, if this is what your life looks like right now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. What I am saying is, who is in control of your career right now? Who is in control of your income? What if you could reach even more people with your skills? What if you could reach the perfect students for your style of teaching? And what if you could have the financial freedom to do the things in your life that you want to do? Most musicians think this isn't possible. They're wrong. In my show, I'm going to explore all the ways and reasons this line of thinking is out of date. There are a lot of better ways, and I want to help you find them. In other words, I'm going to help you swallow an honesty pill. I'm so excited for you to hear the conversations I have lined up, and I really appreciate you taking the time to listen. So this is season number 1. Who would you like to hear on this show? Who's out there doing something awesome that inspires you? Shoot me an email at chris@honestypill.com and I'll see what I can do to make it happen. Okay, that's it for me today. You can find out more at honestypill.com. Check out the free resource library, tons of great stuff over there. And of course, I'll put all the links in the show notes below so you can find everything we talk about on these episodes. All right, everybody, this has been the Honesty Pill Podcast, episode 1. Thank you for listening. See you next time.